My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Pokonjre, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
At Focus on Liberia, we discuss everything Liberia, from education to politics, arts and culture, entertainment, agriculture, history, religion, family, and technology. Focus on Liberia uncovers and showcases the best of Liberia and shows the world the truth about Liberia. We educate, elevate, and promote all things Liberia. We conduct interviews, panel discussions, debates, and more. Tune in to Focus on Liberia on Facebook and YouTube and be a part of the stories that make up the news.
This is Focus on Liberia, and I am Dennis Jah. Okay, thank you so much. CEO Ansony Sieh. It's a pleasure to be on one of the biggest platforms in the world. As a matter of fact, Liberian-owned online platform, because it's quite across Liberia, and it reaches where we cannot reach easily. Well, my name is Anthony Format. I am a Liberian journalist. I'm based in Liberia, and I also work with Top FM 87.5, and also the main host of the program, Top Money Rise. It's an opportunity to be here this afternoon, pretty close to 5 o'clock for my end here, and here with CEO Ansony Sieh. Thank you so much, CEO, for welcoming me on the Focus on Liberia. It's good to be here this afternoon.
Thank you, Anthony. Mr. Former, I'm happy that you are here. I'd appreciate the invitation, and that the interview that you are about to conduct is happening here at Focus on Liberia. It shows your collaborative spirit, and we appreciate the work that you do in Liberia as a Liberian journalist. Me too, having passion for the profession and practicing, I understand the challenges that come with it. You know, the challenges that come with it, to put it right. And so to be here in the hot seat this time, usually I'm the one, asking the questions, and to see that I'm in a whole different capacity than questions, I will get a taste of what people go through when they sit in the hot seat. So I'm happy to be here. I'm sure your audience are watching, and Focus on Liberia audience also following. We invite all of them and we encourage them to share the broadcast and let us have a good conversation. Why people go through when they sit in the hot seat. So I'm happy to be here.
Okay, thank you so much. How is the media landscape on your side, Mr. Sieh? How is it the media from your side there in the diaspora? How is it look?
Well, please, the one you're listening to, you have to turn it off. Is creating a
Yeah,
feedback.
I just did.
All right, thank you. The media landscape here is competitive. I see passion and the desire, and all that is to see our country in a good place. Yeah, I see disagreement. I see a lot of media institutions in the diaspora having a side that is support. Focus on Liberia, the media institution I'm part of, is the only one 100% that is neutral. The media institution does not support any political side, any political party. We have panelists who are members of these media institutions. They have individuals and even some political party they support. But we, as an institution, we do not support any political party. We do not support any political leader. Mr. Dennis Jai is the CEO of Focus on Liberia, and I am the operational manager. Dennis and I, who are the leaders of this platform, we do not share any political affinity with any political party, neither any political leader in Liberia.
Okay. Wow. It's good to know. Now let's look at your job. Let's look at your job as a partisan media practitioner, and also the difference you bring to the platform. Firstly, I mean, how you look about the media? What are some of your recommendations? You think that you are Liberian and being in the diaspora, specifically in the U.S. and looking at Liberia as a whole, what are the differences you see in the Liberian media?
The Liberian media is challenged. It is in a difficult place. The media does not get the support. The media does not get the credit. And we all can agree training is required. And I'm not sure there are that many opportunities for the media, all right, to be able to add more skills to what they already have. And that is the challenge, the fact that we have people who are winning. I mean, it amazes me that even for the media personnel to travel from one point to another to cover a story, it's a challenge. I'm in Liberia 4 to 5 times in a year, so I'm not telling you something that I don't know. In fact, I came from Liberia a week ago. Today marks 1 week since I returned. And Focus on Liberia being a minute, we have 3 reporters in Liberia that we are responsible for. So I know what I'm telling you when I say it. That is the challenge that the media is facing. We have a lot of young people who have passion for it, and the media institution they work for, the media institution themselves are challenged. They're not raising significant amount of revenue for them to even pay them well. I have record of media institution, majority of them who even owe some of their staffs up to 8 months.
Of recent the information was circulating all in the media. Lots of prominent and outstanding institutions were being named in the issue of bad labor practice. Now, Mr. Sieh, what comes to my mind is that the media is being used to propagate or to send out the message on societal ills. Now, it looks funny and behoves me to see the media. We sit on the radio, we sit on the live podcast, we sit on the different televisions network. We condemn institutions on the practices of bad labor practice. But it will also surprise you that we are also the victim of bad labor practice. So I mean, it looks funny, but again, somebody say, who's going to crowd? The one who crowd the crowd of others.
And the surprising thing is that the loudest media practitioners or media executives are the one who treat the issue of not paying their staff as something normal. Now, the excuse some of them tend to give is, well, we're not generating that much money. I mean, I don't know how true that is, but the fact that you as a leader, you're not doing all you can to ensure that the people that work for you are getting paid is a big problem. Now, there's more to that. I've visited the newsrooms of most of the media institutions. And when you enter the newsroom, you're like, what? This media institution? This is the newsroom? And when you talk to the media practitioners and their staff, they will cry more than even civil servants. And so to see that the media is criticizing government and other people, trying to hold them accountable to treat their fellow citizens better, and they themselves who are, shining the light on these things and themselves guilty. Sometimes I'm like, okay, so where do we go? So that's a serious problem.
Do you think there are ways this problem can actually be mitigated? Now, with the proliferation of different media institutions, radio stations, quite across, the ones that are taking the leading role, radio station, politician owning radio stations, and some of the radio stations, in fact, most of the top radio stations in town that we know, especially privately owned, are owned by politicians. Now, do you see this problem? Is it an issue that maybe the media is not been independent, or we don't have a wider economic space that the media can operate and be able to benefit through advertisement and other marketing programs as well to upkeep the staff that run those institutions?
The media is not independent.
The Liberian media.
Yeah, the private sector is not respecting the media. So the politicians see an opportunity for them to buy the media and put the media in their own pocket. You reference or mention that some media institutions in Liberia are owned and operated by active politicians. That is true. I know a lot of politicians who own radio stations. So tell me, do you think those radio stations or those media institutions are going to criticize their bosses? Of course not. All they're going to do is to propagate the messages and the doing of these political actors who are owners of the media institutions. So to a greater extent, the media is not independent. And that's where the disrespect now is coming. Oh, well, that media institution is for the person, so what do you expect? So whatever they say, people would not want to believe it. And I don't see how that is happening, because if the media institution so good is to just sing, or praising the politician who established that media institution, then that media institution is not independent, because to be a media institution, you must be independent.
Yeah, you must be independent. And because of this, journalists are working, like you said. I can't be working with for a politician who owns a radio station, and I actually sit on our radio and criticize a politician. Hell no, I won't do that. And I don't know, do you think these are reasons why the media is not really getting the economic dividends of the work they do? Because I work with politician X. Now I go for a contract to the business person, and probably he is not signing in the line of politician X. He might clearly tell me that he will not want to operate with me. What's your recommendation for the Liberian media when it comes to the ownership of who owns institutions? People and quote unquote the editorial policy, how they handle the editorial policy. What's your recommendation, Mr. Sieh? You are one of the benefactors, one of the beneficiaries of the media, and you are one of the major actors of the media. Now, what is your own recommendation to the Liberian media?
My recommendation is, given the tight economic space that we have, if a politician establishes a radio station and they want our radio station to do some media work, the politician must understand that that radio station or that media institution must be independent, must report the truth and nothing but the truth. And so that politician should not have qualms, should not have to censor the reportage of that particular media institution. They should be exclusively independent of the media work that is to be done at that media institution. The inconvenience truth is that it is a good thing that an institution is being established, but is the institution there to do what it was established for? To ask critical questions, to report the truth and the facts, irrespective of who the facts affect. So if, for example, if a radio station were established by a politician and you are called to be the one to lead that particular radio station, you need to have a conversation with that politician that you can have no say as to how we carry on the work here in terms of reporting the truth. The truth is nothing but the truth. You will have no say. Even if that truth affects you, we will report it, because that is the role of the media. Because when the truth is told, everyone falls in line, then society tends to get the benefit.
Thank you so much. And I was just guessing your opinion on the Liberian media. Now, let us go to our the main reasons why we are here. Some of those important issues that we want to look at specifically in our country, Liberia. Now, of recent, the Joseph Yuma Boakai government, or the Boakai Kun's administration, is nearing 2 years. Pretty close to 2 years. We will soon be into 2026. And time flies, days passes by so fast, the weeks become months, and months turn to years. Now, we are growing closely. If somebody will not want to say that 2029 is closer, and then maybe you are still sleeping, but we are getting closer to 2029. What is your look? What is your take on the current administration, Liberia, under the administration of President Joseph Yuma Boakai, the rescue mission, that talks about 5 major pillars: agriculture, rule of law, rural connectivity, education, sanitation, and tourism. Now, let's look at before we come to the recent U.S. report on the Liberian government, let's look at the current administration under President Joseph Yuma Boakai. Let's look at the issue for corruption, the fight against corruption under this government. How do you see it as compared to past administration of Weah Taylor's government, where there were a lot of complaints about corrupt officials? The people were being alleged. Compared to what is happening now, somebody said the president suspending. Someone says suspension is not sufficient. But what's your take on the fight against corruption on this administration?
Thank you. First of all, when I look at this current administration, I am grossly unimpressed, or not impressed at all.
Unimpressed?
I am not impressed. I am not impressed, and I use the word I'm grossly unimpressed. I'm yet to find that thing that impresses me about our new administration. If you come to healthcare, I am not impressed. If you come to education, I am not impressed. For example, if you look at the University of Liberia, you see the building. Is there anything to impress you? This is the flagship university of our country. Now, if you look in the government, you have the finance minister who is an alumni of that school. He graduated from there. Not only was he a student, he graduated and was a student leader. And he is the minister of finance. How much did he advocate to get in the budget for the University of Liberia? It does not even reach 50 million. All right. And if you look at the physical condition of the building, it tells you that our leaders are heartless, our leaders are insensitive, our leaders do not know what to prioritize. So I'm not impressed. Now, healthcare is another story. Now, when you come to foreign travel, is there anything to be impressed about? The Unity Party, including our dear president, criticized President Weah, rightfully so, for flying private jet. What did he do? He's even flying private jets to Lofa. At least for Weah, he did not fly private jet to
Lofa. Are there evidences? Are there evidences? You talk about the president flying private jet to Lofa.
Well, the records are there that President Boakai told
is there another form of exaggeration?
No, it's not an exaggeration. You are in the media and you are very familiar with this story, and I'm sure you're doing your job, and I appreciate that. But the records are there that President Boakai took a plane to get to Lofa. It happened in Liberia, and this is an established fact. But that is not the bigger issue. The president now is not only traveling frequently outside of Liberia on these foreign trips, he is also going with very huge delegations, something that he criticized before. Our understanding is that on the current trip that he's on, when they put the list together for the delegates or the delegation, they have 80% listed at first. And we understand that it was downgraded to 40, and then now somewhere around 23 is also being reported.
That was the last listing we saw, around 23.
All right. So, I mean, why? Then look at the delegation again. You have the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Sarah Beslo Yantin is on there, and you have about 4 other ministers from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. So you have almost 4 or 5 ministers from the Foreign Affairs on this particular. So one person, the minister proper, is not enough to represent the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. When you also have the ambassador assigned to Japan is also part of the delegation. So I ask the question, why all these many people on this trip? To do what specifically? What is this expose is about? The expose is just an exhibition of businesses and companies in Japan showing their products.
Telling Japan what we capable of doing. That's it. Telling Japan what we have, what we capable of doing, why they say they should consider Liberia as a place for investment. Are we together?
First of all, let's understand what the meeting is about. I mean, what's the expose is about? The expose is about Japanese companies showing their products to the world. Companies in Japan are telling the whole world, come and see what we are capable of. Here are the things that we can produce or we are making. Come and see them. The government of Liberia said, you know what? That's an opportunity to go and talk to some of these people. These are investment companies. Maybe they can come to Liberia to invest. I tell you this much. We don't need 23 people to be there. I don't even see the need to be there in the first place. So let the government come explain to me, why are they in Japan to do what?
It's a platform. That's a platform.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm saying that is a platform to expose our hidden resources to the world. Don't you think?
Well, then this is what we can do. The last time, I think it was last year or so, if I'm not mistaken, or maybe this year, I don't remember the exact time, we had a cultural expose. I mean, exposure, right, in Liberia.
That was it.
This year we had one. What was the goal? For us to show to the world what we have in terms of tourism. That's what we did. How many people came? Who did we invite? Now, when those people came, if some people came anyway, what did they see? Were they impressed? The reality is that if an investor comes to Liberia, they will have to travel through the airport to get to the city. Is there anything that will impress that investor to want to return and do business in Liberia? I will tell you a big no. Not only is the road from the RIA to Monrovia dark, it is now completed. It is almost like a death trap. So that investor will not feel safe traveling on that road in the night. Even in the day, it is not safe. So if we are serious about attracting investment in our country, we should take care of the issue of the airport. We should take care of the issue of the roads from the RIA, the road from the airport to Monrovia. And then we should take care of the issue of electricity. So many things we need to take care of. All right. And I don't see the need. I would want to see President Bwaka. Now, let me share information with you. President Bwaka has been in power now for a little over 2 years. President Bwaka has spent $1.9 million on foreign travel. What have we gotten from that? I tell you this much. President Bwaka can sit at the executive mansion and can talk to anybody virtually or use his phone. And if he communicates well, if he's convincing enough, if he has something to offer, all right, somebody will come to Liberia and do business with Liberia. It is doable. And President Bwaka will be saving millions of dollars that are needed to fight drugs, to rehabilitate our high schools. Nearly all the high schools under the Monroe Consolidated School System, they are in complete ruin. They are dilapidated. If the University of Liberia does not tell you a better story, then I don't know where you have to look.
Now, the government talk about the issue of education. That's one of the pillars on the IRS agenda. Of recent, we saw a very tight in state of the art modern institution built, dedicated in Nimba and that of Bone County as well. Now, with these different efforts and plans to construct about 100 schools within the rural part of Liberia. Now, lots of educationalists who are experienced into the education sector, there have been a lot of issues that the increment of building school buildings within the country is not the only way to help the education sector. What you think are some other means that government can look at to improve our education sector? We have children that are going mad, 2-3 hours to get to school. Don't you think that issue is a plus of building about 100 schools within the rural part to also help school-going kids to ease the burdens that they are faced with for quality education?
There's a lot can be done. And I told you I am not impressed, grossly unimpressed at all. The government is working on building more schools. Let us look at the current schools. How are we doing in maintaining these current schools that we have? I don't know when was the last time you visited any of the private school in Monrovia, before talking about the ones in the counties. When was the last time you visited any government school in Monrovia? I'm not saying outside of Monrovia. If you do, you will not be impressed.
The Sarah Barkley, the William V.S. Tubman, or the Tubman High, the G.W. Gibson, the Elizabeth Tubman Memorial Institute in Caldwell, and so many of them.
These schools, if you went there to visit, you will be discouraged. You will be heartbroken. That's the reality. That is what we have. Now, let's look at, we're talking quality education here. Quality education, first of all, you got to look at the facility. The facility will be as quality. Then you come to quality teachers, all right, or trained teachers. Are we training teachers? And then, for example, the University of Liberia, I understand there are lecturers who have not taken pay for 8 months. And so now we're going to leave that undone and we're going to base schools. We can't even maintain the schools. The schools don't even have fitting bathrooms, the ones in Monrovia. And now we are going to Grand Cru, right, to build another high school. We can't maintain the one right before our eyes in Monrovia. I'm not saying it's not a good idea, but should that be the priority now, that we should build more schools that we cannot maintain, that we cannot staff with quality, with trained teachers? That means we'll not be able to provide quality education. It is not about having buildings. We do have buildings. The University of Liberia is one. We can't maintain it. Topical High is one. We can't maintain it. D12 High, what I graduated from, is one. We can't maintain it. Nimpo High. And you need the rest. We can't even maintain it in a good condition.
We also have the insufficiency of schools, especially in the rural part. Mr. Sieh, have you visited the rural part of the country?
Yeah.
Children are walking 2-3 hours to go to school. Isn't that a concern for government to have schools planted in the rural part of the country as well?
That should be very concerning, because if you went into the counties as you're talking about, the schools there, they are not schools. If you see those schools, they represent a complete national disgrace. For example, this is one in Riverside. See it. Read the headline: Liberia, student dropping out of school in Riverside due to lack of teachers. Now, this is not a school building for a teacher to go in and teach.
Not at all. Not at all.
Not at all. And now there's no teacher. So I couldn't agree more that there's a need to build schools. But these schools are we building? Why are we building the schools for? We should build the school for teachers to go there. Do we have the teachers? Are we able to pay the teachers? Do we have the students that will go to these schools in the first place? So don't get me wrong, we need the schools, but the fact that we cannot even provide quality education in the existing ones, we can't even maintain a single bathroom in any of these schools, tell me that the right thing to do now is to, first of all, be able to staff the current schools, make sure quality education being provided in these schools, and then we can add additional schools that we are able to maintain. We should be able to manage these schools. We should be able to maintain them so that quality education can be provided.
The rescue mission. You think the government is rescuing? You think this government is rescuing? Let's look at the Water and Sewer Corporation. Of recent, there have been different engagement in different committees on a more ali, the implementation of PEP in different committees to ensure that they get spread born water. We saw a recent one in Cape Mount. We saw the recent one in Bapulu with other committee within Moxie. I also saw vividly another one in Neutral Town. And they are doing a holistic approach of this issue of water. Now, in the midst of this, there are also been reports of corruption within the public sector. We heard about the recent one. We heard about the Liberia Liberia Repatriation Refugee and Resettlement Commission. We heard another one from the LTA where Mr. Adula has been accused, though that issue is still within court as we speak. Now, what's your take on this government fight against corruption? Corruption is one of the biggest enemy of any country. So what's your stand? If you want to do a comparative analysis on the past administration of this government on the fight against corruption, where do you think Liberia is doing well in the fight against corruption?
And my answer will be is the same joke.
It's the same joke.
Yeah, the past government under President Weah was a joke in the fight against corruption. The Unity Party under President Bouaka, the fight against corruption is another joke. The fight against corruption under the Unity Party during the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf time was another joke. They are joking. They are not serious. They are not ready. They don't mean
people have been persecuted.
Who have been persecuted?
I mean, there are cases before the court now. There are cases before the court, and where have those cases gone? Those cases. The law is calm.
Let me help you. During President Weah time, I remember one of the Sirleaf. He was one of those. Charles Sirleaf. He was indicted, and at some point, Ellen Johnson Sirleaf stepped in. And what happened? The next day, we saw the man swallowing fufu soup. And the man is a free man. That case ended just like that. Another case I know about during President Weah time was, I think, Brandon Samukai, who was accused of Samfuni AFF money. What happened? He went to court. I mean, there were a lot of, back and forth from the case to the court. And then what happened? They said he was found guilty. He's supposed to be allowed to go to jail to serve some time. The man escaped. The Liberian government could not locate the man. While the man was yet to serve his term, President Weah went and pardoned the man. You think President Weah was serious about justice? After they wasted our time carrying the man to court and on political ground, he forgave the man. Just like that. So the fight against corruption in Liberia is a joke. This current administration is joking. The previous was a joke. The one before the previous was also a joke. It has been joke from day one. And we are not going anywhere with that. Now, you may say, well, the Unity Party government under President Bouaka have been carrying on a lot of suspension. Suspension is an administrative action. That's not what we need. We are talking about prosecution. When we say corruption, we are talking about crime that's been committed.
The LCC was getting due diligence under the Weah Taylor government to prosecute. Do you want to blame the executive when people have been accused, and the LCC should be the one to take the bull by the horns and to ensure that these people have their days in court? Somebody will say, "What are you blaming the president or blaming the government as a whole when the LCC has a responsibility?"
I'm talking about the government of Liberia under President Bouaka, under President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, and under President George Manawia. Those governments, or these governments, if you pull it that way, right, they all have been a complete joke when we are talking about the fight against corruption. You talk about LSCC. Is it now part of the executive branch of government? Those individuals, were they not commissioned? They were commissioned to do what? To ensure that, they fight corruption. And if it means that someone will be persecuted, that person should be persecuted. How many persecutions have we seen? Let me give you news here. The Code of Conduct Law of Liberia is clear. It says that before an official who is appointed or elected takes office, that official must declare his or her asset prior to taking office. You know who the first person to violate that law? the president who took oath to uphold and enforce that particular law. He was the first who violated it. President Bouaka was dancing in violation way before he had to declare in violation. And so what happened? The very people he appointed, they were dancing in violation, and he turned around and suspended about 447 government officials who failed to declare their asset. He set an example, and they followed that example. And he suspended them. What happened? The next day, when they declared their asset, whether those assets were verified, they were back to work. Some of them, their cars were not taken from them. Is that a serious fight against corruption? I become president of Liberia. Before I take office, I will declare my asset. If I appoint you, you will not start work until you declare your asset. If you fail to do that, you are fired on day one, and you will never come back.
Wow. Well, folks, I mean, it's a very brilliant conversation here with the CEO, Mr. Ansony Sieh, and Mr. Ansony, right?
That is Ansony, yes.
Ansony Sieh, and of course, I'm Anthony Former. We are looking at cut across of national issues, looking at the political issues of our country, cut across what interspires of our daily politics and the working of government, and where are we as a country. Now, this issue about the quote-unquote political landscape of our country. I want us to look at the geopolitical aspect of our country, and holistically, the Unity Party, the CDC, former ruling political parties, the newly formed Citizen Movement for Change of Musa Belletti. We also overheard about the People Action Party of Senator Sahali Joseph, and lots of other political parties are also coming. We are hearing now. What's your own observation when you look at the political landscape of our country ahead of 2029? Political pundits are giving their own analogy that if this government doesn't live up to the expectations of the Liberian people, they are foreseeing a comeback of the weird administration of the CDC government, or the CDC CDC as a party into government. What do you see? Others say no, the CMC is running on more. The ANC could be also keeping all of what they have in their storeroom, waiting for probably close to 2029 before they come out. But where are we? What do you see as it relates to the political projection of Liberia as a country?
Thank you. I see political leaders and political parties who want to come to power because they just want power for the sake of occupying political offices. Isn't that what we see every day? Let's look at these parties one by one. Let me start with the ANC, the Alternative National Congress. I mean, what a superb name that it wants to be an alternative, or it is the alternative. How has the ANC been an alternative? Is it by giving speeches? Do we not have politicians who always give speeches? So the ANC must go beyond speeches. Now, the ANC political leader is a philanthropist. And I tell you this much, Mr. Alexander Cummings has contributed on humanitarian grounds to Liberia and Liberians than all other political leaders in Liberia. In fact, I can argue that if you put all of the political actors together in Liberia, what they have contributed on humanitarian grounds, coming alone contributions surpass all of them. That is an established fact. Now, but then you ask the question:
do you think that guarantee him for the presidency?
That is not going to make him president. If it were so, he would be president. All right. There are a few things happening here. The ANC does not know how to connect to the Liberian people. I wrote a piece in which I said the ANC message must dance in VAR, must sing in crew. All right. And it must be
in Mano, in Loma, in Pele.
Yes.
In the different vernaculars.
In the different vernaculars. The ANC has to find a way to do it. And there are some ANC people who are unhappy with me for telling them the truth that they need to hear so that they can recalibrate. I told them, find time, laugh at yourself. all right, reflect and ask your question. Where did we go wrong? What we did not do right? Find those things, and then you will be on your way to finding a message. I accuse the ANC of using what I call a corporate tune to campaign in communities that speak in what? Our local language.
somebody tell you, bring standard to a colloquial setting.
Yes. And so the ANC need to find out, because the thing is that the fact that Mr. Cummings has contributed on humanitarian grounds significantly. Now, Thomas Fala is doing the same thing. Thomas Fala is getting elected. Sieh Joseph is doing the same thing on humanitarian grounds. He's getting elected. Cummings is doing far more. Not many people know in the first place. Let us know, even those who know are not voting for him. So it means that what's working for Sieh Joseph, what's working for Thomas Fala, what's working for Joshua, what actually also work for Joseph Walker, has not been able to work for Cummings. So Cummings has two options: to find a way to communicate, to relate, all right, to find that electability factor. And the crux of the matter here is that Mr. Cummings is suffering from relatability issue.
Relatability
is his problem. Now
he's not relating or probably relating to the commoners. Is that what you want to say?
Yes. Cummings does not know how to build a personal relationship with communities, with individuals, and with the counties. He doesn't know how to do it. There are so many ways to do it, but I'm not here to feed the ANC with strategies that can pay them dividends.
You want to provide consultancy to the ANC, but not on a pro bono basis.
Well, even I don't need money, but at the same time, I will not do it free. All right. and if anything they will pay to get a consultancy from me, they can give me audience. I can tell them what to do, and I will not take a dime. If I'll take any money from there, it will be $1. $1. That's the only money I would take. And the thing is to tell them that this thing is doable. You have to find a way to do it, and I can show you how to do it. So that is the ANC problem: relatability, personal relationship. So many ways people can build personal relationship. You can build personal relationship by communicating with somebody in a language that the person understands, by relating to somebody culturally in a way that the person will understand. If somebody is hungry, you pass them by and you just throw the dollar at the person will say,
the ANC,
you didn't build a relationship with that person. That person is begging. And you say, well, this person is begging, so let me just throw $1. You're in your car, you're driving, and you just throw the dollar. The person will pick it up. But what is the relationship that you build with the person? Did the person know who actually threw that dollar at them? But think about it this way: if you got that from your car and you walk to the person and you shake the person and you say, ask for their name, all right, and you have a conversation. Why are you here? What can I do to help? And the person explains to you. So, but where you come from, you understand? And you have that conversation with them, and you ask the person, how can I best help you? Maybe the person, how best you can help them. And then you say, okay, let go, get in the car, let me go and see your house. If you went to that person's house and you sat with the person, you meet the person's family, you will make a profound impact, lasting impact on that person. So even if you left just 1,000 LD with that person will be asking, where does the man live? Who is that person? I want to go see that person and tell them thank you. But if you feel that because you can afford $1 and the person is begging on the street, you reach to them, you just chunk the dollar and you're gone, that person, you didn't build a relationship with that person. So the goodwill that you have exhibited will not pay back the dividend. Sieh Joseph is doing it, he's accruing the dividend. Sam Thomas Fala is doing it, he accruing the dividend. I'm not saying that people should throw out money and games to buy political favor. I'm not a fan of that, but it is a reality. How you do it matters, and that's why I'm telling the ANC to do.
The ANC got a bloody nose. I would say a political bloody nose. Back in the 2017 election, when the ANC was newly introduced, participated for the first time in our body politics, they did extremely well. They were among the four because we had the Unity Party, the CDC, the Liberty Party, the ANC, the MDR. Now, look at the ANC back in 2023, getting the way they were flopped and the level of percentage or the number of voters they accumulated for themselves. One could think, what was the problem? They said that Mr. Cummings was satisfied with the kind of job he felt he has done back in 2017, or probably he felt that the message of the ANC has resonated well in the minds of the ordinary people. Was it the issue of complacency? What do you think went wrong?
The ANC calculation was wrong. The ANC had accused Unity Party of being corrupt. The ANC has accused the CDC also of being corrupt. In fact, all the other political parties in Liberia, maybe except for a few, the ANC, was right to say, look, Unity Party, you are corrupt, you let our people down. But then the same ANC turned around and said, but we want to do business with you. So the ANC sent out the wrong message. You can't tell us the Unity Party cannot serve us better, and at the same time, you're trying to go into a political marriage with the ANC. The ANC will be tempted to do this again. The ANC will be tempted to want to form a political marriage with CDC. And if they do, they might find the same result. If the ANC has decided
it's a revelation. We heard about the ANC political leader and former president. We are in a closed door conversation. Do you project you see a political marriage of the ANC and the CDC?
That is what the ANC has always done.
You think it's happening for the ANC? You think it's happening for the ANC?
That is what the ANC has always done. So the ANC cannot be telling us you are an alternative to the other political parties that have held power. And at the same time, not only the other political parties that have held power, but political actors who have kept us at this stage of stagnation, and then you want to do business with them. That is the mistake the ANC continue to make. If you will lose alone because you are the alternative. Let me tell you this much. When the Unity Party was in power, during the time of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, didn't the ANC start to collaborate with Liberty Party of Bronskin? Did the Liberty Party, didn't the ANC try to even do business with Prince Johnson? Didn't the ANC do that? So Prince Johnson has been a political actor. Bronsky has been a political actor. They are all responsible for where we are as a country. The ANC comes to say, look, we are an alternative to all the political actors and all the political parties. And now you turn around, you are going into a marriage with them. Especially political actors, Liberians have questions about. You are doing business with them. So you are confusing yourself, you are confusing the people, and you are putting out mixed messages. That will hurt the ANC. So let me conclude on this. If only the ANC has decided way before that election that it will not do business with URE, it will not do business with the Unity Party. If the ANC has gone to the election as it did in the previous election, the ANC would have done well as it did in the previous election that it contested. Because when it did not collaborate with anybody. So people understood the ANC message. The number of Liberians who accepted the ANC message, the ANC agree. Those people decided to believe the ANC message, and they supported the ANC. But fast forward, the ANC decided to collaborate with the Unity Party and others. Say, but what are you doing? So that's the problem with the ANC. So the ANC, if it wants to collaborate, it must not collaborate with those it painted as dangerous, corrupt, and unfit to govern our people. Then the ANC will be, preaching the wrong message.
And Mr. Sieh, do you hold on to this belief, to this philosophy that the ANC can actually win state power without a political marriage? That's one. Two, the CDC and the Unity Party from right after the war, post-war Liberia, it have been seen that these are the two biggest political institutions we have. Don't you think the ANC want to make a change? So they must go into a marriage with one of these two in order to surface and make the change? Don't you think that this is a necessary step for the ANC? Or what are some of your recommendations? You think what other parties you think the ANC can go into a marriage with other than the Unity Party and the CDC, which you said, of course, from their rulings, they have kept up where we are today.
The ANC has done an irreparable damage for itself. And so any political marriage in the future will minimize the ANC further and will minimize the ANC chances as well. If the ANC have stood alone all along, if we have had people coming to it, all right, and they would be seen as the leader for alternative. But instead, the ANC carry itself to the ones that it accuse, giving those ones to have the cards to play, and the ANC will become a benefactor. So when people saw that, but then the ANC would not be in charge. For example, when the ANC was in the marriage of the CPP, the ANC was not seen as the one that would be in charge. All right, so that is the damage the ANC has done to itself. I maintain that if this ANC has stood alone, as it did in the previous election, it contested in, but now the ANC will be seen as the alternative. But for now, the ANC has squandered that opportunity. I don't see how the ANC can pull this off, because the only time the ANC can pull it off, the ANC have to go into an election standing alone, and then there will be another election for the ANC now to really gain the traction that issue have gained now. This election is squandered that opportunity by collaborating with the ones that are accused. So even the election that is coming, I don't see how much change the ANC has. I have something to recommend, but will not get them to the presidency. Yeah.
And who get them to the presidency? And that speech you wrote, it talks about the ANC go out. What is stopping you guys from doing what is needed in terms of reaching out to the ordinary people, in terms of meeting out with the needs of the ordinary people? Now, do you think it's too late for the ANC to recalibrate, re-collaborate themselves, reconsolidate, and to tackle the political battle as it may be seen ahead of 2029? Do you see it is being too late for the ANC at this point in time? We are just in 2025.
I said to you, the ANC has done an irreparable damage to itself. Now, on top of that, the ANC does not even have the strength anymore. The ANC is dispirited. The ANC is now motivated. The ANC does not even know what it wants to do now. The ANC leader is even not sure if he wants to run. He does not know.
He don't know. He doesn't know.
He doesn't know whether it will be a good thing for him to run. The leader of the ANC knows that it will be like asking, a camel to go through the hole of a needle for him to get to the presidency. That is how he feels right now. So he is not motivated. He is not encouraged. He is discouraged. He doesn't see his own path. So if the head of the ticket or the head of the political party is not motivated, he's even looking up to people to tell him, to convince him to run before he can even think about it. I mean, I don't see how that happens.
Now, now we have the CMC of Musa Belete. They are within the limelight now. Now, it is this political projection political pundits are making that if this government doesn't work as seriously and as meeting the expectations of the Liberian people, there is a possibility for a comeback of Mr. Weah. Do you see that?
That is very possible.
That is possible.
Very possible for the CDC to come back to power, and it might even be a walk in the park.
You think so?
To have the conversation or a debate with anybody. The variables, politically speaking.
Mr. Sieh, you are talking about a group of people who led this country on the basis of, I will say, like somebody may say, led this country on the basis of friendship without taking key steps toward the fight against corruption, led this country wherein our passport, diplomatic passport for that matter, was mortgaged, was sold to people we didn't know. Wherein there were different reports about corruption at the Buchanan port, at the Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation of Swana Kamar, with lots of other different actions and lots of other, where our finance minister even publicly said that he took money that should have been followed, but that he should have followed the financial policies which calls for you helping or mitigating the issue of inflation through the commercial banks, but taking money, publicly saying that you share it out to money exchanger or money to foreign bureaus. What are different issues? The issue of steaming up package, lots of other issues still surrounds this stuff. Do you think it's going to be a walk in the park for the CDC?
It can be a walk in the park for the CDC. If you look at the way
you want to tell us why? You want to tell us why?
And I'm going to tell you why. I'm not just going to make a statement and not have something to back it. Look, all of the things you listed happen. All right. The CDC was a joke when it came to the fight against corruption. Significant corruption took place under the CDC. Some CDC official got sanctioned in the first place. I have a file of the CDC. All the CDC political scene I read in that file, and I can narrate that to you. You mentioned the issue of Buchanan Port. There were some official of the CDC who would pop a champagne on the car of a girlfriend. Some of them hold cash in their hands, US dollar, and display it in public. I have pictures of that. These things happen. Some of these people even confess to these things that happen. So when it comes to political scene, corruption, insensitivity, taking our people for granted, the CDC is guilty of all of that. And so the people elected the Unity Party to hold the CDC accountable. Tell me, how is the CDC the Unity Party holding that CDC accountable? Mr. Weah is chilling. Samuel Twelve, they say there's a case against him, but the last time I saw him at the party headquarters, and the man was preaching a political sermon. So I tell you this much: it can be a walk in the park for the CDC, because the Unity Party that's supposed to hold the CDC accountable is betraying the trust of the Liberian people, and the Unity Party is doing exactly the very things that they criticize that the CDC did. The Unity Party is doing that. For example, flying private jet, corruption, a lack of accountability, abusing the rule of law, and so on and so forth. And the wasteful spending. That's why we see the president is buying a bulletproof car. I think he got 2 for him, a vice president, up to $1 million. As those that is not enough, the president got another car. Look at the president convoy. This is a poor country that this president is managing. And now you want to tell me because George Weah was dancing, so President Weah, he shouldn't just dance and all is well? I tell you this much: the prices of basic commodity are going up. The conditions in the country are not good enough. All right. So the CDC can come back to power. Let me tell you, didn't the Unity Party come back to power? No, hold on. Didn't the Unity Party come back to power? Wasn't the Unity Party in power for 12 years? Did we not hear some members of the Unity Party telling us that they squander opportunities? And the Unity Party that squander opportunity that the Liberian people rejected came back after criticizing the CDC because of the CDC blunder and corruption and so on and so forth. Wasn't the Unity Party elected a party that did significantly a significant disservice in terms of governance to our people for 12 years, was forgiven and blessed with political power? And this is the party that is not even doing good, that is repeating the very mistakes of the past and even doubling down. So what makes you think if CDC maintains a 30 to 35%, and then if the Liberian people are dissatisfied with the Unity Party, why would they not want to vote for the CDC? Because the Unity Party is yet to prove that the things they said about the CDC were true by holding them accountable.
So in your own wisdom, as a patriotic Liberian, a patriot and a nationalistic being, what do you envision Liberia on a comeback of the CDC?
More of the same corruption, the same insensitivity, the same joke when it comes to accountability, the same thing. So tell me, the United Party were there for 12 years, the United Party did what? A new best.
So are you trying to say that we're not going nowhere?
Say that again?
I mean, you are trying to say we are not going nowhere as a country.
We are not
but
going
we
anywhere.
might not go nowhere.
We are not going anywhere. I'm going to tell you. Somebody may saying that this guy is preaching doom. Liberia is not going nowhere. The leaders in the Unity Party, they are not visionary. All they know is to occupy political offices, make sure they get the best of car, get the most fabulous salary you can think about, and just pay salaries. Don't you hear these governments? They tell you that, look, at least we pay in salary. That's the only thing they can boast of. The other thing they will boast of is, oh, China gave us money and then we build the airport. Oh, the World Bank gave us money, we build this road. Oh, maybe the African Development Bank gave us the loan, we build this road. The IMF gave us the money, we build this road. Oh, United States government gave us this and we build this. The road from Freeport going to Red Line, who built it? Japan, the Japanese people gave us money. The ministerial complex, is it Liberia government money? No, foreigners gave us that money. The airport we have today, who gave us the money? Chinese people gave us $50 million. I can go on and on. Almost all of the roads in our country that have been rehabilitated today, who gave us money? Foreigners. We are incapable of raising our own revenue to carry on development projects to improve the lives of our people. The schools that you're talking about that the government wants to build, where's the money coming from? Is it from the government own revenue generator? No. Money given to us by people. The last time I saw a program, I think $88.7 million for XL program. That money was given to us, it's been pledged by another foreign group. How much are we generating as a country to invest in education, to invest in healthcare? During President Weah time, they must talk about hospital in Bapolo. Who gave that money to us? Arab people gave us the money. So, my brother, I'm telling you, in as much as we continue to beg and beg and beg, and what they give us is nothing but little, we're not going anywhere. Our leaders are not visionary leaders. Tell me, I want a president who comes to power and look at our pitiful $500 million budget and say 50% of the $500 million will go to public sector investment. The other 50%, if it means that minister will get $250 US, so be it. You, finance minister, send me a budget that allows 50 or 60% of the budget to public sector investment. If I, the president, would take $1, I'm taking that $1. And I want a president who say, if you are in my cabinet, no car for you. If that $2,000 you will get in a month, take something from that $2,000, go to the used car dealer over there. Let me statement. Go to the used car dealer down there and even take a loan. Give them $1,000. They will give you the car. You can be making payment. I just got a car in Liberia. I got it. I'm not in government. So tell me why these people can't do it. Let me add another piece there. The police officer is making $150 US, for example. He doesn't get gas slave. He doesn't get any money from transportation. He doesn't have a car. And this man has to feed his family. Think about it. But minister who is getting $5,000 or $8,000, he gets a $45,000 car. He's been giving money to gas the car. He's been giving money for scratcher. What kind of insanity, foolishness, and nonsense is that? Give me a Liberian leader who will come to power and say from today, no car for minister. You get $2,000, use that money to pay your way to buy your car. That's it. The rest of the money will invest in education, will bear roads. If a Liberian leader start to do that, if that Liberian leader says, I am not traveling in the first 3 years of my administration, the only place I'll go will be Grand Cru. The only place I'll go will be Bapolo. And I will be on the road. All right? That Liberian leader, you will see foreign governments of goodwill will come to your country and give you money to help you. But in as much as we are not prepared to help ourselves, and the only way we know how to help ourselves is to buy big cars, to give ourselves fast salaries, and make our teacher impoverished, we are not going nowhere. And so I tell you this much, Liberia is not going anywhere. the World Bank projects, the projects from the other people are not going to get anywhere. Since we build a ministerial complex because of money given to us, does the country have plan to build another one? Can any Liberian leader say, okay, Japanese people give us money, we build a ministerial complex? It's posting about, I think, about 5 different agencies of government. This cost us about around $60 million. They say, can Liberia now find $60 million and put it in the budget and call the company that built that building and say, look, yes, $60 million, pay us the same building, pay us another one. The following year, can they put another $60 million and call that same construction company, build us another one? Can a Liberian leader do that? Give me one Liberian leader who will give you that. I don't know of anyone right now who is for president. I don't know of anyone. Until we get any such leader, we are going nowhere.
I love your analogy, Mr. Sieh. I love your analogy, and I love the way you have exhibited the strength, the courage to actually talk about these different challenges that we are faced with. We are engulfed with as a country. It is a side devastating and so terrible the way public sector and the way public officials are treated than civil servants. Now, looking at you cleared on the entire political landscape, all those names are on the table now. 2029 is just next door to us. Now, do you see that Liberia could be different if we can put aside this Unity Party and CDC on the side, or let me be a little bit simple in a less simplistic form, or to say that even if we put CDC or Unity Party aside, the CMCO, the PAPO, or the PAP that is yet to come, or the ANC or the LPO, it is the same form of politicians that are all cross-cutting, just cosmetic politicians. They are just transporting, living from one place to another and carrying the same ideology. So things will not change because that's the same people we're going to be dealing with. The same man who's going to work in Party S yesterday, tomorrow he will say Party S was the most terrible party. I prefer to assemble myself Party B. So do you see it getting better? Is it an issue about individual, or is it the issue about our mindset, or the issue about political parties and individuals, or it is about our mindset as Liberians?
It is about leadership, my brother. The mindset thing too. I understand that, but I'm not a big fan. Oh, mindset. But I am more about, look, this is a leadership problem that we have. Let me tell you this.
It cut across our entire political parties. You think so?
All across all the political parties and all our current political leaders.
Belete is bringing something new. He's erecting bridges. He's trying to. He's now usually seeing that form of going against government, maybe to be an antagonist or to be too hard, but he's carrying on some developmental strive, making some gains. He looking at challenges, want to meet the needs of the people, not waiting to be in government. Do you see that as a good politics, or you think that is just a political mirage ahead of 2029?
It's a political showmanship and gamemanship. And that's what Belete is doing. Does it work? Yes, it works. It can get him vote. Is that what we need for the transformation that our country deserves? The answer is no. So Musa Belete can play that game. Musa Belete can be on that showmanship, and it will attract people, and it is attracting people. That is why, I'm always saddened when I see this kind of politics being played in our country. My brother, the problem we have is leadership. A Liberian citizen leaves Liberia today and comes to America. He gets a job, and he's under a different leadership. That Liberian citizen performs. That Liberian citizen is expected to perform because the leadership structure that is here, it is about delivering the result and productivity. That is the culture here. That is the leadership expectation here. That when you are given a piece of job to do, you must first of all be trained. You must first of all be qualified for that job. And not only that, you should have the training and, or the qualification. You must also be able to deliver. You can have the training, you can have the qualification. If you are not productive, if you are not proficient, if you are not efficient, if you are not moving the needle, you will be fired. That is the kind of leadership that I'm talking about. So all our political leaders, all our political brothers and sisters, our fellow citizens who are in these offices sit there and do nothing and on Facebook and have no role to play, but they occupy these roles. They can become proficient if we have a leader who demands proficiency, productivity, and accountability, and that the leader is an example of those things that leader is asking for. Everybody will fall in line. They say follow the leader, because President Walker did not declare his assets on day one. His appointees, many of them failed to declare their asset. All right, and that's why we see. But if President Walker has declared his asset on day one and sent out a message that if you do not declare your asset before you start work, consider yourself fired. Tell me, who in Liberia that want a government job would not follow that? If President Walker said, look, I'm taking office today and I have declared my asset. Anyone that I appoint, if you do not declare your asset before taking office, consider yourself fired. They will all declare your asset. If President Walker said, look, if you are reappointed or after every 3 years, you have to declare your asset again. If you don't do it, consider yourself fired. LSCC, make sure you check on all these people. When they were appointed, when they start work, after every 3 years, they should declare their asset. If any of them fail to do so, alert me, that person will be fired. The people will fall in line, my dear brother. So the whole thing is about leadership. It is about leadership, and it can be done. Let me boast here a little bit. There is a little Liberian-owned business that I'm associated with as the head. It is the most productive Liberian business ever. It was registered in 3 months. It's been in operation now for 9 months, and is performing wonders because of one thing: leadership. My team, I talk to them. I demand productivity from them every day. I have a personal relationship with them. That doesn't mean I'm going to compromise when it comes to productivity. I do not compromise. They don't see laziness in my eyes. They see a leader who is working. They see a leader who is calling, who is asking questions, who is in every project, who is in every assignment. That's what they see. And that is what they want to. So that is what they themselves they are practicing. My brother, this thing is not magic. The Ghanaians are doing better. The people in Zambia, they are doing better. Our friends are doing better. How come we don't even have a befitting airport in West Africa? How come? Ellen Johnson Sirleaf brought a whole world to Liberia and she left, and we don't have a befitting airport. We don't even have a road leading to our airport. That is not road. Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, of all people, didn't Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, was she not taking bath at the White House? She did. She used to take bath there. She used to take bath in Morovia, and the next day she's in America. Where are we? We don't have reliable water, safe drinking water. We don't have reliable electricity. So, my brother, I'm telling you this much.
Every sector is challenged.
It's not going to help us. Putting our feet on the ground, demanding the best from ourselves will get us there. Until we find ourselves doing that, our leaders doing that, we are going nowhere. We will just pay salaries. The buildings will still be looking ugly. And then some people will still praising because they want to get the crumbs. And that is not the way to go.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ansony Sieh. Lastly, from my end, before we can part ways this evening, what's your take on the recent U.S. government report on human rights on Liberia, your country, Liberia? It talks about extrajudicial killings. It talks about physical attacks and imprisonment and pressure as well. It talks about tortured and cruel human, and it talks about freedom of the press, and among other things as well. Have you gone through the reports?
I read the report so succinctly.
What's your take on it?
Yeah, I do not disagree with anything mentioned in that report. Extrajudicial killing, when the police officer is unprofessional to the point that he fires a firearm and takes away the life of a Liberian citizen, I consider that extrajudicial killing. So there is nothing in that report that I disagree with. But I must say this too. All of these things mentioned in that report, you have reported that. I have talked about that. All of us have highlighted these things. And now these things are making news today because it's coming from Mr. White Man. United States of America, where I live, is not in any moral ground, in any shape, manner, and form to tell us about human rights abuses. The U.S., where I live, human rights abuses are going on in the United States more than any other country on earth. In fact, the United States as a government abuses human rights more than any other country on the face of the planet.
And that's my concern.
All right. So yeah, while it is true that I agree with the United States 100% that the things they listed in the report that happened in Liberia are accurate, I don't want the U.S. telling me what I already know. I want the U.S. to work on its own sins, its own crimes that it continues to carry on in the world. Let the U.S. address those things. Let the U.S. address the sins it continues to carry on in its own land against its own people and citizens. Let the U.S. address those things. Then I will be respecting the U.S. government much more when it comes to the issue of human rights. This is America, where a police officer puts his knee on the neck of a black man and that person died. And now is the United States want to tell me about human rights. In America, I tell you this much, almost somebody is getting killed every day. That does not happen in Liberia. So again, while it's true, I agree with the report that the things that are in the report are accurate. The U.S. is not in any moral place. I encourage the U.S. to forget about releasing reports on any other country about human rights abuses when the U.S. is the #1 abuser of human rights. The U.S. president sits in the White House and opening his mouth and talking about killing the leader of another country. Open it. The U.S. supports rebellion in other countries that are leading to the deaths of innocent citizens in another country. So when it comes to human rights issue, the United States should shut up. And the United States should not say anything, because the United States is not in any moral place to tell anybody, any country whatsoever, when it comes to human rights abuses in the world. The U.S. is the #1 abuser of human rights. I rest my case.
Thank you so much. Finally, for your end, Mr. Sieh, it's been a very elaborate, brilliant, fascinating, educated, and impactful discussion as well. What's your final word as we want to take leave of you, and anything you want to talk about before I can take my exit?
Yes, I want to thank you and our fellow citizens that listen to this conversation and those who will listen later on. Our country is in a difficult place. It's not because we are not educated. It's not because we do not have all the things we need to improve human condition in our country and develop our country. It is a lack of leadership. Liberia is a much better country in every respect when it comes to it being a nation that is blessed to have things that are needed for national development and growth. We have all those things. Water is not our problem, all right? We have minerals, all right? And we have our most important resource, the human resource. Liberia is a very useful country. What our leaders doing about this very important resource that we have, our human capital. Now, that human capital is being snatched away from us by drugs in our country. What is our government? What our leaders are doing about this? The last time they wore black t-shirts, and that's the end of it. They wore black t-shirt, and that is the end of it. And talking about wearing the black t-shirt, the president could not even wear the black t-shirt. He took it and put it on his coat on his chest, and he stood to take picture. What does that tell you? What consciousness does he bring to the issue? Lip service, and nothing more. If our leaders are not alarmed by the magnitude of which drugs taking away the future of our country, they are not alarmed. They are joking. Because maybe Nigeria and then I tell you, they are not visionary leaders. The most important thing that we have as a country is not the gold, that's not the timber, that's not the resources that we have. It's the youthful population, That is
Yes.
our most
The human
important,
resource.
critical, natural resource that we have. Our leaders don't see it to be a problem. And that is a clearer picture that our leaders are not ready and we are not going anywhere. Because I tell you this much, if that useful population that has been wiped away gradually is taken away, who will inherit the Liberia? Who? Foreigners? Foreigners? So tell me, look at education, for example. Look at the output of people who are even graduating out of high school. They can't even write a single letter. That is an emergency. But how are they arresting the emergency that we're talking about? What's the budget for education? What's the budget for the University of Liberia? Look at the building first of all. So, my brother, when I say this loud and sometimes in a very angry tone, it's because we are at a critical juncture. Our leaders must put their greed aside. They who are blessed to have cars to go to work, 5,000 at the end of the month, they should be the one doing the work. But they are the one who are lazying around and joking around, and that is unfortunate. Liberia is not going anywhere until our leaders get serious to provide robust and transformative leadership that will be like a rapture. I talk in my piece concerning the ANC, I use the word rapture. Liberians are religious people, so maybe they know when they say that when the rapture is coming. A rapture is when something is being uprooted, all right, and it's being turned upside down. So our leaders need to get this thing right. We, as a people, we are not going anywhere. I want to say thank you for the opportunity. It has been a great discussion, and I hope those who listen will agree and disagree where necessary. We have a country to develop. We have our people to lead. Let us lead knowing that our people are looking up to us for leadership. Liberia is a great country. We have to do everything to make sure we live that greatness. Thank you. On that note, we end the broadcast with this song.
We are Liberia.